If you love to knit and wear small scarves, neckerchiefs, bandanas, shawlettes, whatever you want to call them, this is the episode for you. I am featuring 15 free knitting patterns for these types of projects today. Hello and welcome. My name is Amber and this is a Lovely Yarn podcast. It is the end of March and I just felt like this was the perfect time to feature a pattern roundup for small scarves. This is the perfect accessory for this time of year. We are heading in, actually today is the first day of spring. I am filming this on March 20th. So here in the Northern Hemisphere, we are in our first day of spring, my favorite season. And these little neck scarves are perfect for that transitional weather. I've been wearing little neck scarves for multiple years now. I love them. I think they're so cute and chic and just, I love knitting them because I feel like they don't take up a ton of yarn and they're relatively quick projects. So if you're looking for a beautiful neck scarf pattern, stick around and I hope this video provides some inspiration for you. Okay, as in my last pattern roundup video, which I featured 2 weeks ago, that was a single skein project roundup using fingering weight yarn. If you did not see that, you'll have to check it out. I'll link it down below in the video description, but it was very well received. But so many of my viewers commented that they would love to see a roundup for small scarves. And I was already on it, friends. I had already had that planned because those are one of my favorite things to knit and then also to wear. I wear them all of the time. So I am going to talk about 15. And I originally went into this episode, I was going to do like paid, free, it didn't matter. But then I was like, let's do a roundup of just free patterns. Let me see how many I can find. And there are many out there, but I narrowed it down to 15. And I'm just going to give an overview and tell you the things that I like about it. And I will flash a picture up. And I've actually knitted 3 of these myself. I have my little samples here I'm going to show you. One of them I just knit when I was researching because I wanted to give one of the patterns a try and it only took me a couple of days. So these are really quick projects. So let's get right into it. Okay, the first pattern is called the Tiny Kerchief and this is a pattern by Melia May Joseph. This is a really sweet little fingering weight bandana style mini scarf. And it's actually written to be completely customizable. So you can knit it as a small kerchief like in the picture, or you can easily keep going and make it a larger size. You can make it a larger scarf, or you can even go to like a shawl size. It's written with 2 different stitch options, which you will see in the picture that's up on the screen. So you can choose the look you like best, or maybe do one of each. I love how versatile it is. I think it could be a really fun project to play around with. And I actually really love that bright, like limey green color that they knit the one in. I think that would be so much fun. Okay, next up is the Italian bandana by an Italian knitter. Now, this is a very sweet and simple little neck accessory. It's knit entirely in garter stitch. It has some eyelets, so it would be a very relaxing project with no purling at all. And this is actually the pattern that I just finished up. I knit in a couple of days. It uses DK weight yarn. And I'm telling you, this is such an easy pattern to knit. Like you really don't have to focus on this one at all. So it'd be great for car rides, traveling, taking to social events and working on. And it's just perfect for mindless knitting. So let me show you really quickly mine. I knit mine I held a DK weight, the Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair. I held that double, that was the purple artichoke color, and I held it double with the Menace del Uruguay Serena yarn, and that was in the boysenberry colorway. And this is just so incredibly cute. I can wear it like this, or I made it long enough that I could pull it around and just tie it, which is how I'll probably wear it. But it's beautiful, and I love the simplicity of the garter, just alternating with the eyelets. And this one is also one that you could completely customize based upon the amount of yarn you have. I actually just kept knitting until I ran out of the soft silk mohair because that was a leftover from a project that I had done previously. And this gave me pretty much the perfect size for a neckerchief. Okay, and now as another bonus, I just had to feature another pattern by an Italian knitter because I knit this one a couple of years ago, and I think I may have featured it in one of my previous pattern roundups, maybe like patterns for travel or something like that, because this is also a fairly easy neck scarf to make. But this is called an Italian summer scarf, and it uses DK or even worsted weight yarn, and it is knit tip to tip. So this is mine that I knit up in Quince & Co. Willet, and the color name is Hauser. So it's like this yellow wheaty color, very earthy. And this is actually one of my most worn little scarves. It's very shallow, and again, I wear this one wrapped around and tied. It is a little bit longer than the one I just showed you, but that other pattern isn't a bandana pattern. This is actually a scarf. So, and the color that I knit this in is actually very neutral, so it goes with a lot of my clothing colors that I have. So I wear this one quite often. I would highly recommend this pattern as well. Both of them are very well written. She has actually multiple patterns for free that you should check out. If you want a little texture in your tiny shawl, then I would suggest you check out the For Token pattern, and this is by Two Worlds Together. It has a really cute look. First of all, it's knit sideways, and I love the little bobble-like knots that are featured in the fabric of this one, and then there's an I-cord edging that also gives it a really polished look. I love I-cord edging. I don't always like to do it because it does take longer, but it's always worth it in the end. So this pattern has an increase section, a straight middle section, and then you decrease again, which is how a lot of these small scarves are knit. You can easily adjust the length depending on how many repeats you knit and how much yarn you have. So I think that if I was going to knit this one, I would definitely knit it in a tonal or a solid colored yarn, so that those bobbles would pop. If you do it in like a highly variegated yarn, you're gonna lose the bobbles, and I think that's like the really great feature of this scarf. This next scarf is also highly textured, and this is the Natalie scarf by Adita Radic. And what really drew me into this one is the beautiful texture in the stitch pattern. It's knit in fingering weight yarn, and it is worked into a symmetrical triangular shape, so it has that really nice kerchief look when it's worn. And it also features a very neat I-cord edging, which gives it a really clean finished look. I actually really like this in the natural, I don't know what Garn Studio Drops Fable is the sample picture, is what she knitted that one in, and I love that like white, kind of like white color. I think it really helps show off that texture, and it would just be a really classic piece for your accessory drawer. This next pattern is very similar to the Sophie shawl, and it's very similar in shape to the Natalie scarf that I just talked about, but the Natalie scarf had a different texture than this one. This one is called The Simple Thing. It's by Melina Bell, and it is a simple little scarf style shawl that sits somewhere between a scarf and a kerchief. It's knit sideways in garter stitch, and it's knit using DK weight yarn. It also has I-cord edges, so again, a very clean and polished design. The skills required to make this are quite basic, so I think it would be a really nice relaxing knit, and the size would also be really easy to adjust depending on how much yarn you want to use. If cables are your thing, then I have the perfect scarf for you. This is called the Meadow Scarf, and it's a pattern by Annabelle Williams. It is absolutely stunning. It has a beautiful combination of both cables and simple lace, so it gives the fabric a lot of texture and interest. It is knit from the tip up to the center and then back down again. So it creates a triangular kerchief shape. It is designed to be worn as a shorter scarf that you can wrap once and then tie at the front, but the designer also includes instructions if you'd like to add repeats and make it longer. I love the texture of this next one, and I also really love this bright blue that it was knitted in. Let's see, this is Filcolana Pernilia is the yarn that the designer used for the sample picture, but this is called the Rom scarf, and this is a pattern by Ida Head Merberg. You make this pattern using fingering weight yarn. It has that beautiful textured motif. But what's really nice about this design is you get that beautiful texture using only knits and purls. So there's no complicated knitting techniques or anything like that involved. It is knit from end to end. And I love that geometric looking motif. It's like diamonds almost, or is it like, I'm trying to see, like I guess it's is it a rhombus? And that's why they call it the rhomb scarf. I'm not really sure, but I think this is just such a fun, and I literally want to knit this in that exact same color of blue. If you really enjoy knitting lace, this next pattern is for you. It is the Rose Petal Bandana by Dagmar Tamara. And it is just a beautiful little lacy scarf, perfect for maybe even summer if you knit it in the right kind of yarn. It features a delicate lace pattern and it gives it a really light, summery feel. It's knit from the bottom tip up, so you can easily adjust the size depending on how large you want it to end up being. And actually, in the sample photos, I think it was worn, I think there were sample photos or project photos of people wearing it as not only the little neck scarf, but also as a headscarf. So that would be another option if you like to wear headscarves. This next pattern is a brand new design from Purl Soho this year, and it is called the Larkspur Bandana. I love the scalloped edging around this one. I am a sucker for scalloped edging on anything, like home decor, fashion. I love scalloped edging. It is a very simple, it's a triangular bandana style scarf that's worked completely in garter stitch. So like, I would assume there'd be no purling in this. It'd be very relaxing knit. If you don't like purling, this might be the one for you. And the pattern includes both a smaller bandana size, which is what is shown in the sample photo, and then there's also instructions on a larger shawl option if you'd like to make it bigger. Okay, I have the yarn for this next pattern, and I was actually really hoping to have it at least cast on before I started this episode, but I didn't get to it. But this pattern is, I think, would be perfect for a highly variegated yarn. In fact, let me show you. I've had this yarn for many years. I would say maybe 10 years. It's very highly variegated, and it is from Wren House Yarns. She does not dye yarn anymore, but I have not been, I don't know, I've been saving it because I think it was one of the very first skeins of indie dyed yarn I ever bought. So I have this remembrance of like, oh my gosh, this is really expensive, but I really want it. So I would say I probably purchased this maybe 15 years ago. Anyway, I'm going to make this pattern using this yarn, and here is why. So take a look at this. Not My First Rodeo by Amy Williams. This pattern is a triangular bandana that's knit in linen stitch. And I think linen stitch would be like absolutely perfect for variegated yarn because it almost, if you look at the pictures, it creates this beautiful, almost pixelated color effect. And the linen stitch would really help to tame out the busy yarn, the busyness of a variegated yarn, which is why I think it's going to be really great for this skein of yarn that I have. Also, this pattern is very highly customizable. She says you can keep knitting until it reaches the size that you like or until you run out of yarn. Okay, up next is a pattern called Mini Tassels, and this pattern is by Karen Fernandez. This next scarf is a fairly simple triangular kerchief, and it's knit with fingering weight yarn. But what I really love about this scarf are the tiny tassels along the edge. Now, don't get me wrong, I feel like these might be a pain to cut, put on, and then trim. It's gonna take a while. That's probably gonna be the hardest part of knitting this shawl, is doing the finishing on it. But these little tassels are so adorable. So I feel like the time that it would take to attach them would be well worth it in the end. Okay, we're gonna shift things a little bit. We're gonna stay with small scarves, but we're going to shift into some color work options because if you love color work, I love color work. I wanted to feature a few options for you guys as well. Up first is the popple bandana, and this is a pattern by the Lamb and Kid Designs. I actually bought yarn to make this pattern. In fact, the yarn that I used in this, the Menace del Ergue Serena yarn, I bought this purple and a like limey yellow-green color. But I quickly realized that I think this pattern would do best with an animal-based fiber. The Serena yarn does have alpaca, but it also has a lot of cotton in it. So I just didn't feel that it had enough grip for this particular pattern. So do keep that in mind. That is my personal opinion. But if I were to knit the popple bandana, which I actually did start knitting it with those yarns, and I wasn't pleased with the way it was turning out, and I'm absolutely certain it was because of my yarn choice, not because of the actual pattern itself. The pattern itself is so fun and beautiful looking. This pattern is actually done using mosaic style color work. So you're just doing slip stitches. It's not a stranded color work, and it just creates this fun ripple effect. It looks really interesting, but actually the pattern repeat is actually quite easy. Like I said, I started this shawl or this scarf, just didn't finish it. And it would be easy to memorize as well. I did notice that there's a small error that's listed on the project page, so you might want to check that out before you cast this project on. Okay, the next one is a pattern that I have knitted and I've talked about multiple times. It is the Pressed Flowers Kerchief by Amy Christophers, and this is mine. I knit this in Purl Soho good wool. And the blue color is desert blue. The green is olive oil. I love this. Another one of my most worn little shawls. It is just absolutely adorable, and I love the yarn that I chose for this. This is how I wear it. I just tie it in the back. It's not big enough for me to pull the whole way around and tie in the front, but this yarn was perfect for this pattern. I would definitely use this yarn to knit this pattern again. In fact, I have some other colors of this yarn because I do really like it, so I may actually do that in the future. I love this, and this is all mosaic. It's a mosaic stitch. It makes the cute little flowers. It's worked side to side, and you use 2 colors, and just by slipping stitches, you create that really beautiful texture and pattern. There is also, I noticed, an error listed on the project page that's just in the written instructions, not in the charts. Now, when I knitted this, I almost always follow charts rather than written instructions, so I wasn't even aware that there was an error, but do be aware of that as well. If you're going to use the written instructions, make sure that the pattern is either updated or, you look at the error that's listed. Okay, this next one is really fun. It is called Check It Out, and this is by Plucky Knitter Design. It is knit with fingering weight yarn on size 8 needles, which is actually fairly large for that yarn weight, so that's US size 8. So I think this would create a really nice light drapey fabric, and I feel like it would probably knit up fairly quickly as well. It is another mosaic knit scarf, and it's like a checkerboard stitch pattern, and you use 3 different colors. So it gives the scarf a really fun graphic look, and I feel like if you want to play around with color combinations and you're feeling like adventurous, this would be so much fun to knit this, because it would be really fun to mix your 3 different colors. I am definitely a stripe girl. I love stripes. I have a lot of tops that have stripes on them. This next pattern is for you if you like stripes, and it is called the Simply Stripey Bandana by Camille Heng. If you love knitting stripes, you will probably love this pattern. Knitting stripes is fun because it's like you just want to keep going and knit the next stripe. This pattern is knit with 2 colors of DK weight yarn, and the size is completely customizable. Just depends on how big you want to make it. It also includes a step-by-step video tutorial, which makes me think it would be a really great option for brand new knitters. Okay, so those are 15 free mini scarf patterns that I really love and I would personally knit myself. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found some inspiration as well. Let me know down in the comments which of these patterns is your favorite, or if you have a pattern that is for a mini scarf or a mini, like a shawlette or anything that you really enjoy knitting. Also let me know, because I love getting your pattern recommendations so much. If you enjoyed this roundup of patterns, I would ask that you consider liking this video, because it really helps my channel and also pushes this video out for other knitters to find. And if you're new here and love knitting inspiration and pattern roundup videos like this one, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me today, and until next time, happy knitting. Goodbye.